Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. I'm not sure what time you're watching this, but hope all is well. This is Thursday morning. We're at Turffontein Racecourse on the inside track today and taking all of the action in terms of what's to come. We look forward to a good day's racing. I know that the guys have said it does look fairly straightforward. Hopefully that is the case. We do need one of those punter-friendly cars to get us back in front again, that's certain. On our social media platforms, I can tell you that if you just go to Twitter, if you have a Twitter account, or if you don't, why don't you open one? At Waited to Win, put yourself out there. That would be nice to hear from you. Otherwise, we, of course, are on a WhatsApp number as well, which is on the screen. You can use that WhatsApp, send it to our administration department, and they can engage with you, obviously, and give you some sort of idea as to how all of that works as well. It's easy access to the show, all4racing.tv. YouTube's another option. We are on YouTube, so you can search that. We try and get that about an hour before the first, because there's not much time. Once we record it at about 10 at race day, you've got a lot of work to do between race time. So that all happens at once. Darren Burrows is on the line in Cape Town. Morning, Darren. A drop of time and a work riders in the first. They've priced up at 14 to 10. Are we bankering in the bipot in terms of bipot's first leg, or are we covering up?
I thought cover him with a horse like Lebanese Pound. Now, Lebanese Pound's having his peak run, third run after the gelding. He shows pace. He's got a good draw, good work rider, everything in his favour. And then touching on drop of time, over the 1,000, he got into the race very late on debut. From those two form lines, there's been 19 races run for one winner at Scottsville, a very weak maiden. So the form lines are very suspect, and I'm just not sure if he's looking for further, being by Pomodoro. So I would go 1 and 5 in the first.
Both of them to go into the play from Darren's side. I guess Lebanese Pound, I saw last time, moved up well with Rachel in the saddle. I thought it looked like it was going to actually win and go through with it, but perhaps maybe the move was too early. I don't know. Beltway came from there, and Smelting, Above the World, they've all come to run places. So the form's been fairly solid. It hasn't been too bad.
Yeah, not the greatest of form with regards to both the favourites of the year. Darren touched on the form line of drop of time, but he's been gelded, Clyde. He put in a real stinker last time out. He buried us, basically. So I'm expecting major improvements on his behalf. Clyde, the work rider, Donovan Cooper, now he has had a winner, but it was back in November 2020. Several places since. So I'm sure he'll be chomping at the bit to get back into the winner's enclosure. Lebanese Pine, super fit. Darren touched on a decent work rider in the saddle. He'll have every opportunity. Southern Style, now she's proven very costly to follow in the past. But Clyde, I think this work rider aboard her today, Waitin van Staden, he could be followed in future. I like the ride he gave up the Irish last time out. He seemed very patient, only asked her for an effort very late in the race, although she was well clear. He actually spent time in the South African Jockeys Academy. For some reason, he left there or got kicked out. I'm not entirely sure what the reasons behind him leaving are, but I think he's got ability.
Okay.
And then Clyde, have a look at number 3, the longest time. No form to recommend whatsoever, but he has been gelded, and look is in the irons. Sam Masia.
My favourite.
When last have you seen Sam Masia on a 66 to 1 shot?
My
Throw him
favourite.
into your trifectas.
My absolute favourite, and Boisterous come out of there to run and win the second horse, so that could be anything. All right, well, let's put our bipots up. You've heard it. There are a lot of horses covered in that, but from a bipot perspective, 1 and 5. It does have that look to it, with the 1 in the second leg as a banker, then 8 a banker later on, then 1 and 2, 2 and 4, 1 and 2, and we're spending 322 Rand. At 16 Rand, a bipot. You're back with us now. Time to have a look at the second race on the card. This is a graduation plate, and it is run over 1,200 metres, round the bend, of course, and in this particular race, a small field. But Thunderstruck and Prophet appear to be the two horses to fight this out, Darren. I don't think anything else can pass them, right?
No, I can't see anything else passing them. It's a 2-horse race. A horse like Thunderstruck, now he debuted in January. He running third. He came off a break, came back in May. He won his maiden by 4.5 lengths. There were 5 direct winners from that form line. And then straight into Grade 1 company, he won by 3 lengths unextended. So very impressive. He runs well fresh, and he will rate the horse to beat. He does hold Prophet on that run in the gold medallion. I know Prophet had excuses, but he would never have beaten Thunderstruck that day, and he will be my second choice.
Okay, Prophet's very confident. Well, there's confident talk from both. I was watching Track Talk, Daryl. Sean Terry was saying that, this horse ultimately is, he's aiming him at the Spring Challenge and got to have a big chance. And Cornet Spess was saying that Prophet's a massive runner. He came across very confidently in that interview.
Yeah, Prophet's talented, Clyde. On paper he's held, but Darren Touch on was desperately unlucky in the Grade 1 gold medallion. He was only beaten 5 lengths. I think the interference he suffered was close to 5 lengths. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, I wouldn't be rushing out and taking the 5 to 10 about Thunderstruck. I'll make him the one to beat, certainly. But he is returning from a layoff. It's a start of a prep for him heading into the season. Prophet's going to give him a run for his money. Just be on the safe side and box the exact day. If you show a Prophet, that will be excellent.
To plated race ratings, what's the difference? 4 kilos?
8 pounds. 8 pounds, 4 kilograms.
So Prophet should be receiving 4 kilos from Thunderstruck.
Yeah.
But you think it's wrong?
Well, if they're judging it on the Grade 1 medallion run, yes, it has to be wrong. But, Prophet's had a few more runs under his belt. Clyde, I wouldn't be shocked to see him win, but I am favouring Thunderstruck, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we've got the message. This is what we're going to do then. It's place accumulator time, and this is Darren Burrows' PA. And Darren, once again, you're taking them on with a straight line.
Yes, a single line PA for me. I'm bankering Thunderstruck. Then I'm bankering Princess Hilaria. Then I'm bankering Sir Talon. I believe he's good enough for the first 3. Then Princess Kesh in the 4th leg. The 5th leg, I'm going Quiet Rebellion. That is my best bet on the card. And the 6th leg, Silver Stardust. And ending off with Pinda Mzala at the back. It's a 1 rand perm, and I'm suggesting take it 500 times and hoping that it pays around 10 rand.
1450 meters. Welcome back to Weighted to Win. Let's get on to race number 3. It's our pick 6 now, and let's work it out. I was listening to the Track Talk interview. I take those quite seriously. Certainly after the Wednesday Durbanville meeting, when we were listening to what, wish we had to listen to what that trainer Greg Enyon had to say, and we didn't, unfortunately. But I can tell you, Fani Bronkhorst is very confident here about Princess Ilara, who's priced up at 15 to 10. What do you think, Darren?
Really does look the right horse in the race. I watched the replay last night of her debut performance, and she was a bit green going through the 600, and then she started picking it up nicely going into the closing stages. She was staying on all the way to the line, and with that run under the belt in this type of company from a decent enough draw, she will rate a hard horse to beat. For second, horses like Gimme the Flame, but she's got a deep draw to contend with. So I am quite confident Princess Ilaria will give us a big run for our money.
Okay, it's only had the one run as Princess Ilaria. There's still too early to tell from that form line. But on form, is there any more you can tell us other than what Fani's told us?
I think she brings the strongest form into the race, Clyde. Interestingly, on debut, she started at 40 to 1, so there's no market support for her. I watched the replay too. I thought she broke extremely well. I mean, she pinged the gates. She then got a little bit lost, but like Darren touched on, she was staying on stoutly in the latter stages. So that suggests she's going to appreciate the step up in trip. She's by Pomodoro out of a dam that won over 1800. So in time to come, she'll even go further. Clyde, the top 2 in that race, Queen of Smoke and Tried and True, both had racing experience under their belt. So she did very well to get so close on debut. So, of the balance, I'm favouring number 3, Memorial Day, to reverse the form with Gimme the Flame. She's bar flying the flag out of a dam that won over 2,000. So I think she's going to appreciate the step up in trip, once again back to 7 furlongs. And I think from the 1 draw, that's going to be more favourable than jumping from the 9 draw. So 8 from 3 for me, Clyde.
Okay. 8 from 3 for Daryl. Here's our pick 6. You want to say something else?
Yes, just with regards to our pick 6, we have thrown in number 1, which is the scratching to double up in the first leg.
You want to double up? All right. 1, 2, 3, 8. We're going to use it, and we hope, of course, that this favourite does win for us, because we think it will, Princess Ilaria. But don't leave out the scratching, because we're going, with a few, so we can double up there. Second leg, 1, 2, 3, 4. Third leg, 1, 2, 4. Fourth leg, 1 and 2. Then 1 and 4. And then 2, 7, 8. And that's a cost of 576 Rand. 2,000 metres, first leg of the jackpot. Frani Broncos takes on Paul Peter. Param Buertes has got a horse in there as well. In terms of order of betting, it's Flag Bearer, Sir Talon, Mirren, and maybe even a horse like Pottinger's not out of it, Darren.
Well, I'm leaning towards Sir Talon. The only concern with him, he jumps a bit slow. But it is a small field. They're going to go slow. You'll catch up to them. And I think he's crying out for 2,000 metres. Last 2 runs, he got into the race very late. Last time out, another stride, he gets up to win. And I think he's the horse to beat. But dangers will come from a horse like Mirren. The 2 runs for the Buertes stable, a short head second on the inside track, and then winner over course and distance last time out. I think she'll rate the biggest danger.
Okay, so there are a few in here, I guess. From a jackpot perspective, let's talk to Daryl Marie about the race.
Clyde, I like number 2, Pottinger. I think with the refitment of blinkers, he could get to the front. He's only got 1.5 lengths to find on Sir Talon. And I think the fact that they put the blinkers back on could prove a winning move because he comes off off the bit a long way from home, tends to stay on late in his races. So
will he get to the front, do you think?
Yes. Well, who else is a front runner? Flag Bearer isn't. Sir Talon gets left at the start. Mirren possibly go handy. Scarful, no. And Crusade to Royalty, no. So Pottinger from the front, maybe start to finish. He is my top pick. Sir Talon, if he needs to jump in terms, although if he comes out slowly, it's going to be a small field, so he's not going to be too far turning for home. But you don't really want to give them starts on a fast track. He'll be doing his best work late, a live wire for sure. Then Mirren, I mean, she's putting 2 solid efforts for the Buertes yard. High stuff with her at the Val on Tuesday. Got beat a shorthead with what was it, Brazilian Storm?
Yeah.
And Admiralty Arch, I think.
Admiralty Arch was very unlucky. It just got caught behind horses, couldn't get away through for 200 metres and should have won.
But anyway, the stable's in good form. We saw Baseway win as well. So the stable's in cracking form. Clyde, have a look now. She's getting a tongue tie fitted. Maybe the master got off last time out, Pierre Stradon, when he won on her and said, try her with a tongue tie.
Okay.
So it'd be interesting whose advice that is. But yes,
Pottinger,
I'm going for Pottinger.
Okay, let's go for Pottinger here from Daryl Marie's side. Darren's side, this is what we worked out. It's jackpots now. And we've got going 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 4 by 1 and 2 by 1 and 4. How many times you taking that, Daryl?
No, I'm playing the second jackpot, Clyde.
Okay. Okay, let's get this jackpot on. Daryl Marie's keen to take the second jackpot, so let's get straight to the action. First, I want to ask Darren Burrows what he thinks of the race and what he likes. Princess Kesh, what can you tell me about her? She's quite decent. I heard that this might be her last start. Is that true or not?
I'm not too sure about that, but that was a very solid effort last time out. Now, a horse like Flame Flower, she cruised past Princess Kesh like she was going to go on and win quite comfortably. And then Princess Kesh gathered her stride again, and she was closing the gap fast. She's going to appreciate the step up to 1,800 meters. She's a kilo better off with Flame Flower for that neck beating last time out. And Flame Flower's best form has been over a mile. She's tried 1,800 meters. She doesn't quite go through with her effort. So I'm going Princess Kesh to beat Ballroom Bliss and then Flame Flower for third.
Yeah, that last start, nothing separates Flame Flower and Princess Kesh. What's your fancy?
I actually thought Princess Kesh went past her and Flame Flower was extending at the finish. Clyde, I think she's going to love the step up to the 1,800. She's such a big, solid daughter of What a Winter. She's taken time to fill into their frame. And I think that time off the track has certainly benefited her. She's only come back strong and you can see she's nearing peak racing fitness now. From a whitish draw, she's going to push forward because she likes to use that big action of hers. So if she gets to the front, I'm expecting her to fight off her challenges over here. I think she's on fresh legs, where a few others have had quite a bit of racing. So I'm leaning towards her again. Terror Time, last time out she came out running, she was overdoing it. I think they're going to try restrain her a bit of here, and that may give Flame Flower the opportunity to dictate from up front. So Flame Flower, for me, it's a case of either her or the field, so I'm bankering her.
Okay, confidence for Flame Flower from Daryl's side. Let's have a look at what we're doing in the jackpots. Daryl has worked this out, and you're not spending much.
No, Clyde, it's a 4 perm. I've bankered number 2, Flame Flower, as discussed. Then I'm bankering number 2, Quiet Rebellion. 2 horses in the third leg and 2 horses in the last.
Okay, good working out. Let's hope we can get that right. Quiet Rebellion, is that going to be our play? Let's get to Darren Burrows now and ask him if that's still the case. Earlier on when we spoke to him, he did say this is the best bet on the card, and I would imagine, Darren, all the same.
Yes, Quiet Rebellion, for me, the best bet on the card. Her 2 comeback runs over a mile. She was staying on nicely at the finish. That third behind Flame Flower, I really believe that form line's going to hold up. We'll know by now if Princess Kish or Flame Flower came out to win from that form line, as they ran in the race before. But Quiet Rebellion, Blinker Strike, everything in her favour to run a big race over Kind Judy for second.
How do they rate this horse, Flame Flower, from the stable? Daryl, I want to talk about that just to find out so we can get an idea. I beg your pardon, not Flame Flower. What am I talking about? Kind Judy. I know Baron Butch has always, thought that this horse can run and, speaks highly of it. Good enough against Quiet Rebellion, or has Quiet Rebellion got more class? Or more ability, basically?
I think Kind Judy is now in her place.
Okay, well, that's a good point, you see. You need to, and why would you say that?
Because she's more or less... Listen, she's still very, very competitive, but she's not notching up any winners in her last 3 starts. She may have had 1 or 2 excuses along the way, but she's not going to be, she's not going to turn out a 90 in a few months' time. She's more or less in her place, I believe. So in a handicap like this, you have to look for a filly that's certainly got some scope for improvement or come down low enough in the ratings to be competitive. But I think Quiet Rebellion by Silvana, having a peak run, and especially with the fitment of blinkers, could have a length or 2 in hand of a year. So I think Quiet Rebellion will have the beating of Kind Judy today. There's no reason for Kind Judy to run 4 or 5 pounds above her current rating, whereas Quiet Rebellion does fall into that,
sort of,
does fall into that category. So I'm going to be favouring Quiet Rebellion in a big way. Castle Dara, now that interests me that she's having her tongue tied for the first time today. Maybe she's having breathing issues in her races, or they've tried it back home and it's assisted her. I'm keen to see how she goes today with her tongue tie. But you know what, Quiet Rebellion, I was big on her last time. She moved up very well. I think her run just petered out in the latter stages because she was still in need of that second run of the layoff. So now, cherry ripe, Clyde, I'm expecting her to win today.
Okay, that's the talk. Quiet Rebellion, we've worked it out, they've dissected, that's the reasons why. This is what we're doing in race number 6, and it is straight up with both of the guys. They're both going for Quiet Rebellion. I've been waiting for this race today. I think this is going to be the race of the day. Silver Stardust and Southern Blaze. I think they're going to fight it out, those two. Question is, which one of the two, Darren Burrows?
Well, on the weight turnaround, Silver Stardust has Southern Blaze's measure. I mean, he's having his 3rd run after a lengthy layoff. He got beaten neck by Southern Blaze. He's now 3.5 kilos better off. But he's got to settle because he can over-race, and I think that cost him last time out. Maybe he was a bit still quite fresh, and now he's settled down a bit. He will be my first choice, but I've got respect for Southern Blaze. He could be much better than a 71 rating now that he's found his best form.
Yeah, okay, I understand what you're saying. It'll be an interesting between the two of them. Muzieni's now got the ride on this horse of Paul Peters. Southern Blaze, Philisandi and Coley's been riding. And I thought in the manner that Southern Blaze won last time when you tipped it at any price, if I remember correctly. I think it was 25 to 1 or 33 to 1, and you backed the second horse. But that's how racing is. There was a lot more to come. I understand there's 3 kilos here, or 3.5 kilos, whatever the turnaround is, but there was a lot more horse left in the winner. The second horse, popped early, had to, because it was going to get squeezed if it didn't. And so Gavin had to commit ultimately. And that's why I'm excited about this race. So help me here.
Claude,
I know I want it back, but I want you to give me a lead.
That was on the standside track, now it's the inside track. Is that going to make a difference
to your decision? I think it's going to. Yes, absolutely. So tell me, what is your take on, firstly, Southern Blaze on the inside track? Will it have the same turn of foot? Can it fly?
His turn of foot was instantaneous last time. I mean, he moved up to Silver Stardust full of running. But have a look at the margin at the finish. He only got beat to neck, Clyde. Silver Stardust was certainly not laying down.
Yeah.
So I'm favouring Silver Stardust.
You think Silver Stardust will go to the front and run away from the field, or what?
I'm not too sure, Clyde. I'm not too
a
sure.
fast track, can a horse like Silver Stardust go get a 5-length lead on the field?
Warren Bottas's filly will go to the front once again. I mean, she won from the front with the blinkers last time out. But Silver Stardust, in his later start, he actually achieved a 72. I know it's a classified stakes and the weights favour the fillies and mares over here. But Silver Stardust achieved the 72. That's £8 ahead of his current rating. If you take that into consideration, he's second best weighted over here. I'm expecting Silver Stardust and Southern Blaze to fight this us. On the inside track, I'm certainly favouring Silver Stardust.
Yeah. Listen, you may be right. It depends. Again, if this track's fast, and I think if Silver Stardust gets away, it may be hard to overhaul. That may be the key. Having said that, I'm not agreeing. I think I'm going to go with Southern Blaze. That's my personal opinion.
He's got a 2 kg pull, and he's going to get first run on Southern Blaze.
Yeah, I understand that. But you haven't convinced me. I'm sorry. But I'm only hosting the show. These are the tipsters, and this is what they suggest you do. You do the following. You go exactas 1 and 4. Let's wrap this up now with the handicap. It's at the 68 level. It's an interesting race. Pindi Mzala's top of the boards over here, and interesting runner, Darren Burrows. I know you got this banker in your place accumulator straight line, so hopefully we'll run a place for you if you're still running. And are you confident enough it'll win?
Yes, I am quite confident he'll run a big race, Pindi Mzala. He is my first choice. He is suited by the inside track, and he's got a good draw to contend with. His penultimate start over 1,000, he was a very unlucky loser. He had to switch for a run, I think about on 3 occasions, and he only got beat to length. Last time out, he was staying on over 1,200 meters, back to 1,000 meters. I think he's a decent value at around 4 to 1. Dangers, horses like Baby Don't Hurt Me, she's been very disappointing, but she's got a tendency to hang badly towards. He needs thinkers go on. That's the key. But for me, Pindi Mzala.
Okay, Pindi Mzala from Darren's side is the right one. Darren has summed that up for us. Daryl Marie's chance.
Clyde, let's just touch on Trust the Fire now. Trust the Fire holds Stormy Lass. I think he beats her and he's 1.5 kilos better off. So that takes care of Stormy Lass. And there's not much separating Pindi Mzala and Trust the Fire on the Spielberg run. The way I see this race panning out, Clyde, Stormy Lass from a one draw, she's got a lot of early pace. So Pindi Mzala is going to slot in, have the perfect toe through, and I think he's gonna get the job done for Clinton Binder. What do you think about that?
I think you may well be right. Personally, I like others. There are a few others in the race I'd like to give chances to.
Like who?
I like Rose Velvet. I give that a chance. I like Corne Spesses horse at any price, Big City Girl. I don't think you should leave that out of the play if you're taking trifectas and quartets. There are a few. There are, this kind of handicap. I can't be confident enough, to be honest. But if you boys are confident with Pindi Mzala, then I will not argue with you.
Trust the Fire. Last time out, Clyde, this horse has had his issues in the past. I thought he was moving better than ever on the way to the start. So I think they've overcome his issues and he's feeling good and well at the moment. This horse, we really thought he was going to struggle. He couldn't win a race at one stage. But, he's done well recently. But Pindi Mzala, Clyde, the way the race is going to pan out, over 1,000 meters. 1,200 isn't his game. 1,000 meters is his game. Desperately unlucky in his penultimate start. From a 2 draw, we have to go with Pindi Mzala in a race like this.
Okay, well, that's what the black and white suggests that you do. Well, let's have a look then in terms of what your code shows. And if you want to use that code, please do with your camera. Hold your phone up there. It'll take you straight to Pindi Mzala to have a strike. And that's what the boys like in the 8th race at Turffontein.